Maybe they could even team up and work together. She could see it now. Team Asian would kick all kinds of ass at Whitford Nash. You looking forward to meeting the other residents? I reached out to a few of them, and we have a group chat on WhatsApp. Can't wait to finally see them in person. Do you know Hannah Meyer or Paul Watkins? I'm afraid not, he admitted with a grimace. I only moved here last month, so I've been busy settling into my apartment. I was in Boston before this. I'm afraid you have me at a disadvantage on that score. Boston? Did he mean he'd gone to Harvard Medical School? Impressive. And he didn't strike Bethany as the sort of person who'd do that as a ploy, as if he was faking humility by saying Boston or Cambridge instead of Harvard. But if so, all the better. She couldn't wait to show she could more than keep up. No worries, she assured him. I can introduce you. The more the merrier, after all. Besides, we have to stick together. His lips quirked. Much appreciated. You know, I've been dreading this event, but now the evening is looking up. If I'd known the company would be this delightful, I would have arrived earlier. The gleam in his eye left no doubt as to what he meant, and it took everything in her not to give a goofy smile in return. Get a grip, girl. You're thinking with the wrong part of your anatomy. You're here to work hard, kick ass, make Ma and Ba proud, and prove yourself. Focus. Stop wondering what he looks like under those designer threads. Ethan then checked his watch and Bethany got a glimpse of a nicely toned forearm. She was not going to drool. Absolutely not. She was supposed to be a professional, damn it. At this rate, she would need to use her knowledge of the endocrine system to get her hormones under control. Are you all right? He inquired. Fine, she said, a bit more breathlessly than she'd like. I think it's time for us to head over. Then shall we? He held out his arm. An old-fashioned gentleman. From anyone else, Bethany would find it performative and over the top, and even a little bit condescending. But somehow, on Ethan Wu, it worked. She hooked his arm with hers, and they made their way over to the pub. And because she couldn't resist, nice suit. You're definitely going to turn heads and make a good impression in that. Calvin Klein? Banana Republic? Of course not, he said with an affronted air. I got this tailor-made at Savile Row last year when I was in London. You don't think you're a tad overdressed? It's a pub, not a Michelin star place. What, you're expecting Bobby Flay to show up? She joked. Ethan seemed to be a guy from a well-to-do background with matching taste. Not everyone could casually drop into a conversation that they had their bespoke suits made in London. Certainly not her. She was willing to bet he graduated top of his class from Harvard and would look down on her Johns Hopkins education, even though Johns Hopkins was one of the top schools in the country. Bad enough she was a woman entering a male-dominated field and a male-dominated specialty. Now she was dealing with snobbery on top of old-school old boys' sexism. She was so not here for it. Suddenly, Ethan Wu seemed less cute and attractive. If she could remove her arm without making a scene, she would in a heartbeat. Chef Flay doesn't have any Michelin star establishments. Was she mistaken, or did his tone imply that even a plebeian like her should know that? Now she really regretted talking to him. Damn pantyhose. If she hadn't had that run, this would have never happened. My mistake, she clipped out. And as for being overdressed, first impressions matter. Maybe more for some than others. Clearly you weren't worried. What do you mean by that? Bethany demanded. I get it. Everyone has different priorities. And I'm sure you weren't admitted into the program because of your fashion sense. But may I just suggest getting rid of the pantyhose? None of my business, of course, but it may invite questions you don't want to answer. He pointed to her purse where the blasted pantyhose could be seen by all and sundry. Why hadn't she remembered to throw them out? Thanks so much, she replied acidly, though she was inwardly cringing. At that moment, Bethany swore...